ladies and gentlemen. I'm Sahar and you are watching Debatable. Today our guests in the studio are the successful model, Francesca. Her strengths are fashion, business and obviously beauty. Our other guest, Zoe, is a film graduate. She has broad perspectives on media and its powers. We have Oscar as well. He has a vibrant personality and a strong interest in taking part as a community DJ and a sports analyst. And last but not least, we have Liam. He's back in the studio. If you haven't watched his previous debates, you can find them on our YouTube channel. If you are not familiar with him, he is a filmmaker with great experience in filming and directing. Welcome everyone, and I hope you are ready for an exciting dose of heated debates. So today we are discussing a few topics, firstly being Jay-Z and Beyonce on the Run Tour 2. Second, beauty pageants, and are they just a way to objectify women? Thirdly, who is more likely to be oppressed, men or women? And finally, we're going to end on Joshua versus Parker, the recent professional heavyweight boxing match. Lovely, right, so let's get started with the first topic, Beyonce and Jay-Z on the Run Tour. But first, let's see a short video of them both on stage together. Oh, so guys, are you excited about it? Does anyone have it on their bucket list? I heard it's quite expensive to get tickets this time around, and they're performing in London in June. What do you guys think? Oscar?
Well, as a DJ, I think I'm over the moon, and it's been a long time coming for us to actually see the two on stage, and yeah, we're looking forward to see how it all works out.
Yeah, Zoe, I know you've been to a Beyonce concert before, likewise.
Yes. Yeah. I love Queen Bee,
yeah.
But I do feel like it's a little bit kind of forced this time around because of what's happened in their relationship. But it'd be interesting to see how that chemistry works on stage and whether they actually do a dress, because I know that she's got that song, Becky with the Good Hair, so that would be awkward when she says that and looks at Jay-Z like, how many Becky's going to be in the audience? Yeah, so no, I think it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, Liam, what about you? I know you're not really a fan of that music genre.
No, not really, no. I don't think it sends like good messages out, but I mean in general, like in terms of this, I mean, why is it called On the Run Tour 2? I mean, is that why it's so expensive? They've got to pay for their lawyer fees.
Yeah. Keep running, running from all that lies,
yeah, but I mean, I think they're doing this show on just to keep their image together. It's very political. It's like the Clintons, you know, they have to stay together.
What messages do you think they're giving out?
I don't know. It's like they have to like do some like facade of like a good relationship, but behind the scenes they hate each other pretty much. Yeah. I think they really do.
I don't really care about their private life. I'm just going for the show.
Yeah.
My boyfriend just bought me the tickets.
Yeah.
They were like so expensive, but
at least he bought them.
Yeah. But I'm just looking forward. It's gonna be like fireworks, and I love Queen Bee.
Yeah, she's queen.
And I think it's kind of like a positive message where I don't think they're still together just for like just because it's business. I think they're trying to fix their marriage. Yeah. Even through music.
But I think personally, like, well, I agree and I disagree with what you're saying right there, because obviously, I think going on tour at this point is not correct, because again, there are two celebrities who are public figures. So as public figures, you need to obviously portray and basically tell people how to resolve things like marital issues which they've had. And I mean, for me, if I was married and more or less I was in a situation like Jay-Z and Beyonce, you're more or less like telling me I should just tell my wife, let's go to the Bahamas and just sit by the beach and pretend like everything is okay. Because obviously when we get back home, we've still got some issues to sort out. And I think the issues have kind of like been sorted out in the press, in the media, but we don't really see exactly how themselves have more or less like given that out. And I think as public images, they need obviously to get back to their probably like fans to actually let them know like this is how you obviously work out a marriage, and let's see it rather than in a marketing way.
Yeah. So what were you going to say?
But in response to that, I don't think that they're obligated to be, you know, marital experts. They they're in their marriage for the first time. There will be ups and downs, and that's life. They're not experts just because they're in the public eye. And I don't think they're obligated to actually express everything. I think Beyonce's always been a private person, and that's why she's so respected, and people see her as Queen Bee because of the class that she actually possesses. And she says, you know, I don't want my whole world out there that other celebrities do, and they will get a lot of backlash for that.
Yeah.
So you can't really win.
But I think it's not like their whole life, because obviously you look at, it's a marriage, that way we're looking at it, and like it's been publicized that they had a problem, and even their fans, their diehard fans, do have marital problems, and some people that will be going to their concert will be going through the same problems that they too have had. So for them, obviously, they've got the responsibility to educate and like obviously show people this is how it ought to be done. And I think in a more glamorous way, I mean, a lot of things are being lost in translation. They need to actually come out and obviously show us how best is it that people can help themselves in marriages. I think they're not getting it right.
Yeah, so we'll have to see when we see feedback and stuff from the show. So thanks, guys. We're going to go on to our second debate. The second debate being, are beauty pageants created just to objectify women? So let's first watch the crowning of Miss Universe 2017, and we'll be right back.
The new Miss Universe is South Africa. Take your first walk as Miss Universe.
Cool. So let's start with you, Francesca. Being a model, what do you think about this?
I've been doing beauty pageants since I was a kid because my mom was passionate about it, and I just love to dress up and makeups and pink dresses. So for me, it was kind of like a game,
Yeah.
like a hobby. And then while I was growing up, it gave me the opportunity to travel around the world. And now I started with beauty pageant when I was 6, and now that I'm 25, I have my beauty company. So it gives me a lot of opportunities. It's not just about objectifying women. Of course, it's about beauty, but it's about like the way you perform, the way you speak. So totally disagree.
Yeah. Zoe, what do you think?
I do think that is objectifying women, to be honest.
Sorry, Francesca.
Sorry, Francesca. I mean, I rate it in a sense that, yes, it gives women a platform to kind of express themselves as they will, but I feel that it is almost restricted to what you look like. Like, those women on that clip were very beautiful women, all dolled up, and I just think it portrays kind of like, you know, women are there to be looked at and to be pretty.
Well, it is called a beauty pageant.
It is called a beauty pageant, exactly. But I just, personally, that's not how I would like to be represented, and I know a lot of women wouldn't. But if you're into that stuff, you're into that stuff. Like, it is what it is.
Yeah, when you look at that, and then with shows like Toddlers and Tiaras, how they're doing beauty pageants for kids, some of them can't even walk. What do you think of that, Oscar?
Well, I think, again, I'm also going to object to Francesca, because obviously I think they do objectify women in a certain way, because obviously they categorically tell more or less like the males that, okay, fine, this is what a perfect woman should look like. That's more or less like the opposite of what a woman shouldn't look like. And I feel like we should look at women just as they are, rather than looking at them by beauty, by size, or more or less the different categories that you actually get in a beauty pageant. And I feel like in as much as you have all these debates, beauty pageants in a way, they kind of amplify the way men look at women in a way.
Yeah.
I actually agree with, I agree with someone. No, I actually agree with Francesca. I think that the people that go on these shows, they do it because they want to. I mean, the topic of children, that's completely different. And obviously, we'll get to that when I'm finished. But I just think that the women that do go into beauty pageants, I think they do it because they want to. And there's clearly an audience, because or else if there wasn't, if there wasn't an audience and there weren't people participating, they'd be gone.
True.
But for children, I think that's disgusting. Yeah, I personally don't think the children know what they're doing, especially when it's stuff that's online that can warp their perception of
like
of
social
life.
media.
Yeah, social media especially, because they may obsess over the likes they get or whatever. I don't know how Instagram works.
Yeah.
But I mean, but I think if you're an adult going into it, you know what you're doing. But I think the children. I mean, I don't think they see the positive side of it, but subconsciously, I don't think they'll process the negative.
And I think just look at the pressures that it's actually put. I mean, like of late, you've had this debate about size 0 models and stuff like that. You see women trying to obviously make themselves as skinny as possible just for the catwalk. And I feel like it's what these beauty pageants are actually doing, because they're creating a certain particular woman's identity to actually say, that's perfect, that's not perfect, that's perfect. And I think in a way, it does amplify, like I'll go back to what I said, how men in turn will basically look at what's the perfect woman. And that's the question that remains unanswered. What is the perfect woman?
And all people are destroying their health just to get on a TV show, isn't it?
Yeah, but I don't think, not only from a man's perspective, I think for you to say what men will think, I don't think that's the issue. I think it's just what people will think in general, because the fact that you're reinforcing the idea of they are there to be viewed by a male perspective.
Yeah.
And I think that's the whole problem with
Well, with that, I'm speaking as a male, because obviously, like, I'll pick up probably like the application form, which basically has the different categories. This is a woman, she has to has this, she has to has this, she has to has that. And I might say, okay, fine, I want to watch this pageant, but this is what I should be looking for. And I might be sitting to a woman next to me, probably watching the show, who doesn't fit any of that.
Yeah.
And I'll be there making a comparison that, then who's this? Because according to this, that's the perfect woman. So in a way, it also gives a wrong image, or rather like, a wrong message to the audience, which could also be female.
Yeah. Lovely. Right, we're going to end that debate there. Very good debate, guys. Okay, so let's go to our next discussion. It's going to be kind of connected to the previous one, so keep your opinions, guys. Who do you think is more oppressed by social stigmas, men or women? Before we proceed to the discussion, I would like to show you a short video of Emma Watson. Let's have a look.
I decided that I was a feminist, and this seemed uncomplicated to me. But my recent research has shown me that feminism has become an unpopular word. Women are choosing not to identify as feminist. Why has the word become such an uncomfortable one? I am from Britain, and I think it is right that I am paid the same as my male counterparts. I think it is right that I should be able to make decisions about my own body. I think it is right that women be involved on my behalf in the policies and the decisions that will affect my life.
So, Liam, do you feel oppressed by women in society?
No, not at all. I mean, I'll treat everyone with respect, and if, obviously I expect some back, but I think that there are a load of people that do go around just, man-hating just because, I think so. But I mean, I don't have that problem. I mean, I treat people, just treat people nicely, that's what I do.
Good to know.
Yeah.
Oscar, what do you think about this?
Well, I think the balance is kind of like 50-50, and the whole debate is more or less like institutionalized. So more or less, of course, if you look at work and if you look at social lives, things that have just been constructed, yes, there is an imbalance, which obviously is causing the huge debate. But if we more or less like strip the earth and just look at us as men and women, I feel like even men, in a way, in certain areas, are actually being pushed out. And because of these institutions, the women voice actually seems as though they're the oppressors, but I think that basically is both ways.
Yeah, Francesca?
I think women are still oppressed. Like, I think the feminist movement is relevant. Like the campaign Me Too against sexual harassment. We still have a pay gap for like lots of jobs, and you feel the pressure, like the male gaze again from like another point of view, and we still have love to work on. Like we make like women from the 60s, they fought for like the right to vote, the right to be equal, but we still have work to do.
Zoe, I know you've got issues, some little issues on a Western society, not Western, sorry, Middle Eastern, and the thing you talk about India.
Oh yeah. There is, I think there's a lot more to be done, not just in the UK and the US, but actually the Eastern side is awful. The culture there is to really actually treat women as an object. Some of them even tie their women to their kitchen. And I know it's true. I've seen a documentary, and although that could be funny to us, but this is actually reality and what's going on. And there's a outstanding amount of rapes that are going on in India, and a lot of the excuses are, well, she's out by herself, what does the woman expect? And I think, and what you said about that whole Me Too campaign, that's really relevant as to just show, are we really progressing? Because this is still going on. A lot of men in power especially are actually using that power to oppress women even more and more.
Yeah.
Well, again, I think, do you realize when it comes to institutions, and obviously you talked about the pay gap, when you look at the paternal and maternal rights that women and men have, women probably will get their 6 months break, whilst the man will have his 2 weeks. So in a way, you're actually reinforcing to tell the man to get back to work and make the money, because obviously giving him 6 months and she works, how will society see that?
But then the women are carrying these babies.
And they have to
But if you look
breastfeeding.
at it
That's
this way,
why you're going to get more months.
Women themselves are actually telling the man, after 2 weeks, go out and work, whilst I sit and obviously babysit. A role that, if you so wish, a man can actually handle. But we actually say that, no, 2 weeks for a man and then get back to work, whilst obviously she's babysitting, she's doing all those functions.
That's why like the pay gap exists, because women are taking time off. I mean, because like, you know, you say women should be at work, that's fine. But then, you know, if you go back to like nature roles, biology and all that, it's like the women are the caregiver, right? But, you know, I don't have a problem with women at work, but that's the reason why there's a pay gap, because they generally go for lower paying jobs that have flexible hours, because they have time to take off to look after the children.
But that's the issue as well. That's not particularly fair.
But why? I mean, if you're taking less time at work, why would you get paid the same?
Yeah, but it takes a female and a male to produce a child, but it's the woman that actually has to carry the child.
But then you get paid maternity leave. You get paid for having time off.
But hardly anything. My sister is on maternity leave, and she was absolutely appalled about how
But
much
if you look at it,
so
if we kind of like reverse, put that upside down, the woman gives birth, takes 2 weeks off, and obviously allows the man to go to work, or rather allows the man to stay at home in this case. And I mean, like, we do know like there's a lot of stay-at-home dads, but again, how will your friends view your man, especially at work? He's just sitting at home, what's he doing? In as much as he's taking your role, he'll be dubbed a lazy man, because obviously all he does is just sit, sleep, watch TV, and just babysit, because obviously that's more or less like a routine that he's going to keep up, to just be there. And I mean, he's going to provide, but obviously provide less. And of course, when the woman is providing more, she's going to come home and call him a lazy man.
No, but if the man's off, if the man's staying at home and the woman's doing all the hours of work, she's going to get more money then.
Guys, we're going to put this one out to the viewers. They can come back with us on their thoughts. But thank you for your opinions. I think the next topic will be even more intriguing for the male guests. Let's stop that one there and talk about the really recent boxing match between Joshua and Parker. Cool. After we've seen that clip, what do you guys think? Anyone Joshua fans, Park fans? I'm a Joshua fan.
Well, I'm a Joshua fan all in all, and like, I could actually say big well done to him for winning that fight. Only that obviously I still have my opinions about Parker, because it kind of like looked like a mismatch right there.
Yeah. Zoe, I know you're a Joshua fan like me.
Yes, definitely a Joshua fan. I wasn't really that interested in the game itself, to be honest with you. There was a lot of like debates going, who's going to win, who's not going to win. But I heard it was a really boring match anyway.
Yeah.
It wasn't worth the money. So
We all want a knockout. Yeah. We all want a knockout round. But yeah, they made it to the last round. It came up to points. And then they kind of chose Joshua as the winner, which, as you said, it could be a bit different in like his size, as Parker's a lot smaller.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, like, again, you give credit to Parker for going all the way to the 12th
True,
round.
yeah.
And it's the first time that Joshua has been taken on up until the 12th round. So meaning that Parker, as an athlete, he was on point. But obviously, because of the mismatch, he missed, obviously. Like
He
the right
should have won
point.
for just putting in all that effort, shouldn't he? But I mean, it's unfortunate that it was a mismatch, but I think if that's just the way the rankings happen, then oh, well, that's what can you do? Yeah.
Got to work your way up.
Yeah. I mean, you have to fight to get there in the first place.
Francesca, you're not really a boxing fan.
No, but I was supporting Parker just because he was like the small guy against the giant.
Yeah.
So he tried his best,
Yeah, he did do pretty well to get up
but
there.
would have knocked out.
Yeah, we wanted a knockout,
Yeah.
didn't we, really?
That's what you pay for, isn't it?
But I bet the pubs made loads of money with everyone watching them. Yeah. Fab, lovely. Well, we'll end that one on there. Well, that's it from us today on Debatables. I want to say a big thank you for you guys joining us, and also a big thank you for you guys at home. Tweet us some debates or guests you'd like to see on our next show. Also, don't forget to follow us on our Facebook and YouTube. See you again very soon. Bye.